Fire Emblem Heroes reaction video to this month's legendary hero that has just been revealed, and this time it is Ninian. So the Ice Dragon is finally getting her legendary ult, which I'm all for because I like Ninian a lot. She's a great character. I think most people like her, especially if you played Blazing Blade. She's an important character, so she's definitely very deserving. So I'm glad she's getting her legendary version here. It's just funny that she got it, not too long after her Fallen version, which happened a few months ago, and that version's pretty good. But this time she's actually bringing some new stuff because this time she's a green dragon and a cavalier, which is funny. I always find it funny whenever there's a dragon cavalier, because it's like they're a horse and a dragon at the same time, especially with Ninian here not even riding anything, and in her sprite she's floating. So they definitely could have made her a flyer or just an infantry again, but I'm glad that they tried to make her a different movement type, for variety's sake. And it makes sense she's a cavalier with her playstyle, and we'll get into her skills. And she's a water legendary, so she's the second water legendary dancer along with Azura, so she's going to be another dancer to watch out for. So this time she comes with Faithful Breath. This gives her 16 might and attack +3, so it's basically 19 might. And if Singer dances you, she inflicts defense and res -6 on the nearest foes within 4 spaces of both herself and the target ally. So this is like a defense res menace, but better, because even if an ally is far away, she'll still be able to get the debuff, and she'll be able to reach that ally for sure with that cavalry mobility. So I think that's why they made her a cavalier this time, just to have her with the maximum movement utility. So that's pretty good. And then at the start of combat, if she's alive, basically above 40% HP, she grants attack speed +6 to herself during combat. And also, if she initiates combat, she has the partial no follow-up, which is great, so she'll be able to stop any kind of follow-up negation she's. And if she initiates combat and has a weapon triangle advantage or a penalty is active on the foe can counterattack. So this is the best part of the weapon, honestly, I'd say, because it makes her unique in terms of being a dancer, because most dancers aren't really good in combat, and Ninian here is trying to be both. She's trying to cover both. So I like what they're trying to do with this weapon, because against tanks like Brave Hector, they won't be able to counterattack at all, which is great because she has the triangle advantage. Or even if you're not even blue and you just have some kind of penalty on you, which is going to be easy with her defense res debuff, that's going to be great for her to just be able to chip you. Even if she's not going to be able to kill you, she's still going to be annoying with her fire sweep effect. So I like what they did with her weapon here. And then she comes with Dragon Dance. This is her PRF assist dance. So basically grants herself, or should I say grants another action to the target ally, of course, but also if it's used on turn 2 onward, she grants another action to herself. So it's like a self dance. We've seen this before on other units, obviously, but we've never seen it on like a pure dancer. So it's pretty unique. I like what they did. I like what they're doing here. So this can be definitely annoying if you don't watch out for it, because not only she can dance an ally, she can also self-refresh herself, and she's actually kind of a threat because she's not going to be hitting like a wet noodle, not like her other versions that only had like 30 base attack. And we'll see her stat spread later, but she's going to have attack and speed +6, just like Pokemon having the Dragon Dance move with his assist. So it's pretty similar to Pokemon. But the thing is, afterwards, obviously, she's going to inflict isolation on herself, so she can't just infinitely dance, over and over. Obviously, that'd be broken. But yeah, so I like what they did with her weapon and her dance, basically just to making her a hybrid of a support unit and an offensive unit. She's trying to do both, which, I definitely think she's a better support unit than she is a combat unit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the fire sweep effect is good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think she's gonna hit that hard because her stat spread is it's all right. I don't think it's 19 might breath. She has 39 base attack, which we'll go through her stat spread. The rest of her skills I'm not even gonna go over because we've already seen these skills before. But attack speed catch 4 is definitely gonna help her hit hard. But compared to like her fallen version even gives better support because it has that guard effect. But like I said, I still like what they tried to do, making her more offensive oriented compared to all their other versions that have piss poor attack. So here she is killing this lance flyer. So don't get me wrong, it's not like she's gonna just hit like a noodle. I just think maybe her stat spread could have been better. But it is Ninian after all. So see 58 base attack. Hopefully she has an attack super boon, but 19 might minus that from 58, that's 39. So 39 base attack is not the highest to today's standards, but it's still way better than any of her other versions. And she has high speed, of course, with 43 base speed, which is nice. So that is her stat spread, we can see already. And she dances Elliewood, of course, her canon husband, in my opinion. And then she has Nils with her, which is cute because of course she's a pair up. So you know, her stat spread, you know, it kind of leaves a little bit more to be desired, I feel like. But like I said, I still like what they did with her as a unit, trying to do both roles. So you still have to watch out for her. She can be annoying even if you can tank it, because there's going to be definitely units that can be able to tank her, because she doesn't have true damage, she doesn't have anything like that to like really make her stand out offensively. But in terms of the dancer class, she's definitely one of the best dancers, because not many dancers can function in both phases like that. Because like compared to Legendary Azura, her fellow water pair up legendary, you know, Azura is really easy to bait out. You know, you just bait her out with like an archer and she's dead pretty much. And even if she with the TA with a refine, like even with a red unit, strong red units will still be able to kill her. But you know, Ninian here, you actually have to watch out and kind of respect her, because she has that fire sweep effect, and you know, she can also hit decently hard. So yeah, so that is Legendary Ninian, a mix of a support unit and a combat unit. And I'm glad that they just didn't make her like a standard dancer, because you know, we've seen there's so many good dancers in the game, so it would have been steep competition for her. So at least here she's trying to do something new in the class. So let's go over the rest of the units on the banner. So we have Milla, who I don't have yet, sadly. Regan, who's a great Astro Mythic, of course, and then Legendary Alina, Note, Legendary Male Byleth, Legendary Female Byleth as well. Tine or Tyne, I don't even know how to say her name correctly. I'm sorry, Juggerl fans. Yugdral fans, I'm not even pronouncing that part right. So yeah, Lilith, Fallen Lilith, should I say. And it's funny because Fallen Ninian is also on this banner. So there's two Ninians, Legendary Xander, Ascended Florina. So that is the units on the banner. So let me just rank the units on their colors here. So for green, you obviously have the new Ninian, and then you also have a Legendary Male Byleth, who's an amazing unit, and Legendary Xander. So green is pretty stacked, because not only are they all great units, but they also have great fodder overall. So green is pretty stacked. And then in blue, you have Fallen Ninian, Note, and Female Byleth, Legendary Byleth. So that is pretty good as well. Blue is pretty good as well, having a Legendary and a Mythic and a very good dancer in her Fallen version. And then red has Legendary Alina, Regan, and I think Fallen Lilith's red, right? Yeah, so Fallen Lilith, I was getting mixed up with the regular Lilith. So Fallen Lilith, Legendary Alina, and Regan, that's pretty solid. Not the best. It's not as good as blue or green, I'd say, but still pretty good considering red is usually a dud. And then Carlos has Tine, Ascended Florina, and Milla. So the colors are all pretty solid. The best one I'd say is green. Next is blue. And then third is colorless, I'd say, because Ascended Florina, even though she's not the best archer, she's still pretty decent with her mobility and stuff. And she has the Ascended Floret, obviously, and pretty good fodder. And then, you know, Tine is a great mage, pretty underrated mage, having very strong damage output with damage reduction and piercing. So she's very strong. And then Milla, even though she's not the best light mythic these days, she can still give you, you know, value isolating other dancers. And then red, I'd say, you know, is the worst. I mean, red has great fodder too. Regan has great fodder overall, and she's a great unit to merge up. Legend Alina, you know, you have to give her a lot more skills to make her like the strongest nuke, but she can still be pretty annoying on cav lines and stuff. And then Fallen Lilith has the coveted Speed Smoke 4, which was recently on Flame Tribe Lin, but that's a seasonal banner. So if you want Speed Smoke 4, this might be the best chance to get it, because Speed Smoke 4 is definitely an amazing skill that I use a lot on both of my Marths. And then blue has Legendary Female Byleth, who has pretty decent fodder, and Note, who is a great Dark Mythic. Even though she's not as good as Medius these days, she's still great and annoying with that Pathfinder. And of course, she has Disencounter and Attack Speed Menace. So overall, the colors are pretty good across the board. No color here is really a dud, even though red, I'd say, is the worst one. But still, red still has great fodder. Especially with Speed Smoke 4. I mean, if Lilith wasn't here, it'd be a lot worse, because even though Regan has great fodder, those skills are on a ton of other units, and Speed Smoke 4 is so rare and coveted. So Fallen Lilith definitely ups the value in the red color, but overall, every color has value and good skills, and they're good units overall. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Legendary Banner and Legendary Ninian. I'm glad that she's getting her Legendary version finally. We'll have to see how she pans out in the meta, you know, because I don't know. Like I said, I like what they did with her as a hybrid unit, but like both of her things she's trying to do, support and combat, like none of them really stick out to me. The only thing that's really good, like in terms of uniqueness, is that fact that she can self-dance herself and self-refresh herself. That's the main draw, I think, and I think that's the best part, because even though the fire sweep is great and you know, having extra offenses. We've seen that before on so many other units, you know. So that's not really anything new on the offensive front. And then on the supportive front with her dance effect, you know, she's not really giving anything new. Like compared to her fallen version, she doesn't have guard effect. She's not giving anything. I mean, she's giving the debuffs, but that's about it. We've seen that on a lot of other dancers. So we'll have to see how she pans out. You know, I don't think she's bad, of course. I think she's definitely one of the better dancers, but with how they're trying to, with the direction they're trying to go with her, I'm not sure how that's going to be, you know, how that's going to pan out. But yeah, that's Legendary Banner, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below if you comment on Legendary Ninian's banner, if you like it or not, if you're going to summon on it. I think the colors overall, like I mentioned, they're all pretty good. So it's a pretty good, you know, if you just want some good units, this is a pretty good banner. But you know, there is Halloween banner coming up and other legendaries and whatnot. So if you're not a fan of Ninian, I'd probably skip. But if the other units entice you, definitely go for it. So yeah, that's my thoughts, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed listening to me ramble as always. Please stay safe out there, and peace out.